Trisha and welcome to my channel. So I've decided to create one more fall wreath, and this is a welcome wreath that will go in my back door. It is on a square shaped wire wreath form, and that I have got most of these items. I got them from the Dollar Tree, but I did use some ribbons from Hobby Lobby. Now, of course, you're going to be able to buy all your supplies wherever you want. Now, I am going to put in the description box the items that I use to create my specific wreath. Of course, you can change it any way you want, and of course, it doesn't have to be square. It can be round. So, that being said, let's get to crafting. I'm going to start off with this Dollar Tree sign. I think it's really pretty the way that it is, but I'm going to go ahead and paint it so that it goes with my color scheme. I did buy two of these because I really do like the design on it. But let's go ahead and paint this one. I'm going to make it easy on myself and use some spray paint. So I'm just going to take it outdoors, and I'm using this Rustoleaum Ultra Cover Paint and Primer, and this is an ivory bisque. So I'll be back once I have this all painted. Alright, so now I'm just going to give it some bit more color to my sign now that it is dry, and I'm going to be using this Waverly chalk paint in cashew. So I've just taken a dry brush, getting some paint on it, smearing some of it off, and I'm going to kind of go like in a roundy circular motion like that in opposite ways. Just go straight down the middle and just do that, just to kind of give it those, you know, those little ridges on the pumpkin, kind of give it that effect to it. And of course, it adds some color to my pumpkin. To the stem part, I'm just going to dab the paint and fill in that little spot, and then I'm going to add some to my leaf as well. I'm also going to take this Waverly chalk paint and celery to add a bit more accent to my pumpkin. This time I'll be using a smaller brush. Again, my brush will be dry. I'm going to remove as much paint off of my brush, and then just go over what I just did and kind of smear it. I'm going to do the same thing for the little stem here. Add some green and just kind of smear it around. And I'm going to use it on my leaf as well. And just kind of dry brush over it. You don't want to get it into all them little grooves because you want that little detail. Let me bring it up here so that you can see. So there we go. Let's go on to the next. Next, I'm going to be using another Waverly chalk paint, and this time I'm using the color Pull. I'm using these colors because these are what I used in my decorations this year for my fall. Of course, you choose the colors that you want to use. In this case, I'm going to use the same big brush that I used in the beginning, but I'm going to try to take off as much paint that was on there and pick up the blue. And again, kind of smearing it off. And this time I wanted to do some flat splotches rather than thin lines like that. So I'm just going to kind of go over it like that and just give it a touch of the blue. Now I'm going to be using this Americana acrylic paint. This is in light cinnamon. I wish I had a chalk paint that was in a brown, but I don't. But I'm going to go ahead and use this one. And I'm going to do some touch-ups here and there on, like on the stem, for example, just with a flat brush. But I'm going to use it in long strokes rather than in flat strokes like that. Okay? So I just want to add some to the stem area here. And then just kind of brush it out. I'm going to do the little edges of the little metal leaf that the sign happens to come with. Now your sign may not have this little metal leaf, so don't worry about that. Okay, so we're going to go ahead and now add on around the edges. That's just to kind of give it an antiqued, kind of weathered look. I don't want to put too much of it because I didn't really use too much of this brown, or I don't think I did at all in my other decorations. I just decided to use it on here because I do have some brown woods here and there that I'm using, and I want this all to coordinate. Okay, so now I'm just taking the brush, and with whatever little bit of paint it might still have on there, I'm just kind of smearing the edges here, just bringing in that color, and that's it. That's all we need to do. Of course, you can do a lot more if you want. Next, I'm going to use some decorative mesh, and I've got these from the Dollar Tree, and I've got this beautiful green tone. It's really lovely, and this sort of gold and yellow color. I think they look beautiful together, and they'll go with my aesthetic. So I'm going to cut some pieces from these rolls. So I've layered the two rolls together so I can roll them like this and cut them at the same time. And I'm going to cut about, 5 or 6 inch pieces. So just cut. Let's grab another section and cut that. I don't know exactly how many I'm going to need for my wreath form, which I'll show you next. But right now I've already cut 12 of these two colors, so I have 24 sheets right here. So it's up to you how much you're going to need. I do have 2 rolls of each color just in case. So that is what I purchased. So let me show you the wreath form that I'm using. Here is my wire form for my wreath. I grabbed this from the Dollar Tree. I chose a square one. Of course, they have round ones and they have a couple of other shapes. This is a 14 by 14 square, by the way. So I don't know exactly how many bundles of the mesh I'm going to need and ribbon. So I'm going to be cutting them a little bit at a time. So let me show you the ribbon that I grabbed. All right, so this is my choice of ribbons. I found these at Michael's, I believe. And I think I got this one from Hobby Lobby. But I believe these were from Michael's. But these are the colors that I have chosen. This one has tons of colors in it. It's really pretty. And I like this orange and kind of a natural look. And of course I have this one that almost looks like raffia. And then I have another one here. These don't really have the tones like the blue that is in my pumpkin. But I think it's all going to coordinate just fine. So just choose whatever ribbons coordinate with the colors that you want to use. And of course you don't have to buy them where I purchased them. They do have ribbons at dollar stores, so check those out. Now for my ribbon, I'm going to be cutting them all pretty much the same size. So I'm going to be doing about 8-inch pieces. And again, I don't know how many of these I'm going to need. So I'm going to cut about 8 for now of each of my ribbons. And that'll get me started. Of course, I'm going to take each of these also and fold the ends in half. And then from the fold up towards the wired edge, I will cut so that I get these kind of a dovetail. Let me put it on the table, it shows up even better. But it's up to you. Maybe you decide that you want to do an angle cut instead. I think cutting it in a dovetail or an angle cut gives it a nicer look rather than just leaving it flat like that. But of course, if that's what you want to do, that is your choice. Alright, so now that I have all my pieces cut of mesh and ribbon, I've kind of divided them into like little bundles here of the ribbons that I want to put together because I want to make 2 separate bundles. But to tie them up, I need some chenille stem or some floral wire. I'm using chenille stems now. You can cut the chenille stem in half and use half a chenille stem for tying up each of your bundles, or you can cut it into thirds, whatever's most comfortable for you. I go ahead and I cut it in half and then in half again, because I want my chenille stem to go as far as I can. So I actually cut it into 4 pieces. So this will tie up 4 bundles, and the same chenille stem will then be used to tie onto the wire form. Now there's different ways that people do this. This is going to be, I'm going to show you the way that I do it. It's very easy, but again, I'm going to tell you that if this chenille stem seem too short for you, the pieces, go ahead and use 1/3 of the length or half of the length of a chenille stem. For me, this is fine. I can work with this, but if you have some problems with your fingers or working with your hands, I do recommend that you cut them a little bit longer. Okay, so this is going to be super easy. I'm going to take these 2 ribbons and my gold mesh, and I'm going to put these all together. So I'm just going to roll up the mesh, the cut sides, into itself so that it rolls up like that into a little curly bit. And then I'm just going to take the other 2 ribbons that are layered already on top of each other, place the curly bit on top, get the chenille stem, wrap around, and tie it from the back, just like that. Not too many times because we are going to use the ends to tie onto the wire or the form of the wreath. And then I'm just going to separate them like that and like that. See, I'm doing the one color of ribbon this way and then the other one going the other way. So this is my little cluster. I did the same with this one, and I used the green mesh. So here is one already made, and all I have to do is just kind of open up the ribbon bits a little bit like that so that they'll be ready to use for my wire foam form. Now I'm going to make a whole bunch of these use up all my ribbon, and we'll see if that is enough. If not, I'll just cut a few extras, but I'll let you know at the end how many I used for my particular wreath. All right, so now I want to attach my pumpkin to my wire form. I want to place it right in the middle, right in here, and it kind of gets nestled in there. And I want to tie it down, and I'm going to use some chenille stems, but I have to turn this around. I'm going to put some paper down just so that my pumpkin doesn't get scratched up. And I'm just going to turn it around to the other side, and I'm going to do the same thing. So I'm just flipping everything over. Now you'll see here that I've already got a little chenille stem right there that I've already glued on there. I wanted that to be dry ahead of time so that I can show you how it ties down. So all you have to do is just kind of center it where you want it on your wire form here. And then we're going to add some chenille stems just like that to the spots where it can tie down. So I've added one right there, and I'm going to add one on the other side. So all you do is just take a little piece of chenille, just like the ones that we cut up for the bundles of ribbon and such, and just put a puddle of glue down. Add your chenille right through it like that. And then I'm going to add a little bit more glue over it just to make sure that it does get attached well onto the board. Okay, so now I can use that chenille stem to tie onto my wire form, and make sure you fold those little ends of wire against the board so they're not sticking up this way and then scratching your wall or your door. So that's what I'm going to do the same with this one once it's dry. And I'm actually going to put one up here also where the little stem meets up this little wire bit right here. So I'm going to put some glue down right there. Put my little wire or my chenille stem and add more glue on top of that. Now I could do another one at the bottom just to make sure that it's all secured on there. I think this would be enough, but for the heck of it, I'm going to go ahead and add one right there as well. Kind of bending my little chenille stem into like a little V. Placing it right on the puddle of glue. And then more glue on top to seal that chenille stem in there. Alright, so once all of that is dry, these three, I'm going to wrap them up just like I did this one. And then we'll come back, we'll turn it over, and then we'll finish decorating it. Alright, so now that I've secured my plaque onto the wire form, I want to add these bundles that I've created. And I've actually created, I think, 12 of each of these different combinations. So altogether I have, I believe, 24 of these bundles. Now, I don't know if that's going to be enough to fill in the whole thing. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to try and fill this little corner here and then this corner over here. I have a separate idea for these opposite corners just in case I don't have enough, because I did run out of this ribbon right here, but that's just me. I ran out of that. I was using a roll that I had already been using before, and I used new ones for the other ribbons. So I do have of the other ribbons in case I have to make a few more little bundles, but I have an idea to take care of that. So first I'm going to fill in my opposite corners, and I've chosen these two corners because I have a little leaf here, and I decided that I want to do something here and something different here. So let me go ahead and start filling this up. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to alternate these, and I'm going to grab now if you did them all exactly the same, of course you don't have to worry about alternating or doing any of that. I'm just going to fluff these open like that, because that'll do more coverage. I'm going to start at this little corner here. So I'm going to grab the wire here, and I'm going to go in this middle one here, and then just tie it right onto that middle one, and then just bend those little ends, and then just again fluff it open so that, you know, it takes up more area. Okay, so now I'm going to alternate with the next one, and I'm going to go again into that middle one here and just add this next combination of ribbons. Alright, so I'm going to add this last one on here, and then I'm going to repeat the same on the other side. So I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 bundles in this corner, and I'll go ahead and repeat it on the other side as I said. And I'll be right back once I've got this one done. Alright, so I've secured another 5 on the other corner, right there and there. And I do still have some more. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to add going downward this way a little bit more, and then going upward this way a little bit more. So All right, so I've added 7 now, and it's getting really nice and full. And I'm only using this middle wire here to attach the, the little bundles. If you want to make it even fuller, of course, you can add some more onto this edge one, so you can push these up like that and have it like a really, really full wreath. I really like the way that it is, and I actually don't even want to make any more bundles. So I'm going to stop and just do it on the center one. Now, I want to reach this line right here, so I need to add another 2, so that's actually going to be 9 now that I'm going to add. And I'm going to do the same thing over here. Okay, so let me go ahead and do that. Okay, one more look. This is 9 now on each side, but I want to go ahead because I wanted to work my way down and leave this little corner blank here and this corner. Now, I've already met up going downward this corner going downward here, and this one I've been working upward, so I've already met this corner right here. But we have this space right here, and we have this space. So I have a few more, and I'm going to go ahead and add those on. I actually have, let's see, 1, 2, 3, and 1, 2, 3. So I can add 3 here and 3 at the bottom. So altogether, that's 12 and 12, so that's 24 bundles, okay? Let me go ahead and add them on, and we'll be back, and I'll show you how I'm going to finish these little corners. All right, so to do the 2 other corners, I decided to make 12 bundles of these, and I've put 6 in one corner, and I'm going to put the other 6. And the way that I did it is I put one right in this little wire that's right on the inside, just to fill in that little spot right there. And then I put 3 here, and then another 2. So altogether that was 6. All right, so after I've done that, and I've done it over on to this corner right here, and then I decided that, okay, you know what, I'm going to add more ribbon as I have more of this one. So I cut 6 pieces of this, and I'm going to put 3 on one side and 3 on the other. So all I'm doing is just kind of, you know, just putting a little chenille stem around it. There we go. And then just bending the chenille stem like that. And I've already added one here, so I'm going to add another one over here just to bring some of that ribbon up into those little corners. Just like that, okay? So what I've done here, I'm going to repeat it on the other side. Now, I also have this bush of beautiful cream colored like sunflowers, and I also want to add these onto the corner. So I'm just going to cut these kind of short. Let me bring up this leaf because I do like the leaf, and I'm just going to cut it kind of short here, and then I'm going to bend that little stem upward, you know, just like that. And then I'm going to add some glue to that and stick it in there somewhere. All right, so I'm going to put it like near the little ribbon that I have already added. So I'm going to add 3 of these flowers on each corner. Okay, so let me go ahead and finish this little corner, and of course I will show you that, and then of course I will repeat it on the other corner over here. Okay, so we're adding these sunflowers. Okay, there we go. 3 beautiful sunflowers in that corner. They look so pretty. I'm going to repeat that on this other corner like I said, and I'll be back so we can finish off with just a few more little decorations. All right, other than adding some sort of a little string back here, or a little chenille stem at the back top part here to create a little loop so I can hang it somewhere, I also want to just add a couple more items that are going to be decorative. So I have these little metal signs that are from the Dollar Tree. They say thankful, harvest, and welcome. Now apparently I have been buying these because I have several packages of this. So let me show you what the words look like. All right, so here we have one that says harvest. That looks really pretty. And then of course we have thankful. Oh, we have welcome right here, and then we have thankful. I don't want to use the welcome because I want to put that on my back door because, you know, my family tends to park in the back of my house. That's where the back entry, garage and such is. All right, there we go. I've attached the welcome sign. It looks so nice. Okay, I also have this little 3-pack of these little pumpkins. They come with these little clips on them. You can just use them just like that and clip on the little pumpkins on your wreath, or you could hot glue them down. I'm going to just clip some on. I think I'm going to look for a better spot than this, but I'm just going to clip them on. I think I'll put 2 on the bottom, and then I have one more, and I'll put it up here in this top corner somewhere. So that'll be a finished wreath. All right, everyone, I have completed my wreath and I've hung it up, and I think it looks really pretty, you guys. I will tell you that if you're going to be just making a bunch of little bundles of those ribbons and the mesh, and you're going to just do them all exactly the same, I did end up making 36 altogether to fill up that square wreath form. Now, if you want to fill it up even more, then of course you can double it up if you want. Now, I will also recommend that maybe instead of using the center wire to attach the bundles, maybe you use the outer one, because my pumpkin is kind of hidden away, and I think that if I put them further out, you know, that I would be able to see the pumpkin a little bit better, because those ribbons will reach to the edge of the pumpkin, and so I should have put them on the edge. That's all I'm going to say, so that when if you're doing this, instead of putting them in the middle wire, put them on the outer edge. Maybe you'll need to make a few extra little bundles to, you know, really fill it up, other than 36, but that's my recommendation. All right, so it is completed, as I said, and I'm very happy with it. Excuse that little noise in the background. I've got a little kitty cat that snuck his way into my craft room, and he's playing with some apron strings on the door. All right, so there we go, everyone. I'm going to give myself a big old thumbs up, and I hope that you too will give me a big old thumbs up. And please leave a kind comment down below and let me know what you think of my craft. And also make sure you, oops, sorry, my big old finger right there, that red subscribe button down here if you haven't already subscribed. And if you're enjoying my content, please subscribe, and now please hit that little notification bell you'll see appear right after you subscribe, and choose all so that you get notified of all the videos as soon as I load them up onto YouTube, or upload them, whatever you want to call that. Guys, I am tired, but I'm really happy that I made this little wreath, and hope that you enjoyed my video. So please share on your social medias, and as always, enjoy.